Alrighty, folks. Alright, here we go. So this is Willow for the NES. For those of you that are familiar with the late 80s action fantasy adventure movie of the same name, then you will get a lot of nostalgia from this. But before we get started, we've got some shout-outs here. Oh, we don't have any game audio, do we? Let me fix that. Ooh, actually, you know what? Here, hold on. Let me do this real quick. Okay. Hold on. I just want to see something real quick before I get started here. This is hopefully a good level. Yeah, that should be fine. Okay, cool. Alrighty, so before I get started here, let's get some shout-outs here as far as donations and things that have happened here. We have a $6.66 donation from The Big Mike 1983 who says, "I'm gonna get sad Mardigan if this mad Mardigan doesn't get rad Mardigan." That is a very strong allusion to something that is happening here in this game. Also, that same Big Mike gifted a subscription to Spaz342, who returned in kind by donating 300 bits. So to you two fantastic human beings, thank you so much for your donations. That pretty much put the nail in the coffin as far as getting the Toho run unlocked. As you can see, now we're working on Snow Bros. So let's get some donations and bits, cheers, subs, all that stuff in here so that we can get that going. All right, let's speedrun Willow. 3, 2, 1, and go. All right, so here we go. We start out as Willow, setting forth on an adventure to save the world. How exactly we're going to do that and why isn't quite clear yet, but we just know that it needs to be done. We're going to make a stop in here to visit our best friend Vonkar. He is the village warrior, and he's going to let us borrow his longsword. Nice little starter weapon for the game. We'll go ahead and equip that now. And then we'll head on over to the next town. Yo, Big Mike with another gift sub. This one to, is it Nailed Snail, if I'm reading that right? All right, good. We wanted to see these guys. We want to do some grinding on our way to this next town. All the enemies on the way, especially now that we got that one on the first screen there, are going to be enough to get us what we need. Yo! We've got ourselves a hype train here. Hype! Chaos Factor with 21 months. Thank you very much. Retro Wins are already in chat. I love to see it. Let's keep going. Keep that hype going, because the more y'all hype, the more kids get fed, and that is a very, very good thing. So let's go. Alrighty, I need to do just one more enemy kill here. And that sweet little fanfare you just heard is me reaching level 2, which is exactly what I wanted to do, and I will explain why I'll explain why right now. We are going to start out by going to the very, very bottom corner of this village. And we're going to talk to a guy who is going to give us a wooden shield. Now, the wooden shield is inconsequential and essentially useless. However, the event trigger that comes along with talking to him is not. Because after we do this, we are going to be able to talk to the village chief. This is the village chief's son. He said, yeah, you should talk to my dad about some real crazy stuff that happened around here, and he could use your help. Yo, we got a host from my man AK. We got 300 bits from Codemaster9999. We got another 300 bits from Chaos Factor. Let's keep the hype going. This is beautiful. I love it. Thank you all so much. And as you can see, our little chef is making his way across the top of that bun. Getting his way to Snow Bros. That's what we want to see. Alright, so now we can talk to the village chief. You don't actually need to do this in the game or in the speedrun and whatnot. But we are doing it here for safety because by talking to him, he tells us what we need to do, which is to go into the cave to the north here. We need to defeat the evil monster Bogarda, who is a transformed village member, and bring peace back to the town. Fortunately, the village chief is nice enough to give us an object called the Heal Mace. This is a magical item that will allow us to regain our HP. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and equip it right now. Now, the reason why we wanted to get to level 2 is this. You need 20 magic points in order to cast the spell. Your maximum magic points at level 1 is only 17. So you would be unable to use this spell at all without leveling up first. And here's why we need it. Because we're just going to boost our way through these big snaky boys here. And save the time of fighting them. It's also really nice to have the heal mace for later on in the game. There's a couple of sections where you're just prone to taking a whole bunch of damage, and this will mitigate a bunch of that, for marathon safety and such. Now we have the gold statue. This is a required item in order to get into the next area that we need. Yo, the Val Kilmer emotes. Those are phenomenal and very topical. All right. So we're going to do a death warp here, but we hope to get the snake dance. We go right and left. Ah, shoot. We didn't get the dance. Oh, well. That's okay. Death warps are a thing in this speedrun. We're going to do a lot of them, and they serve two purposes. One is that they will usually teleport you closer to where you need to go next. But what they also do, and in most cases this is the more important part, is they refill your MP and your HP. So this is a nice little way to get a free heal, no matter what, wherever you're going. Alright, so we talk to the skeleton. He says, oh, you got the gold statue. Yeah, go give it to Bogarda. I dare you. Gotta moonwalk into the cave, or the run is invalid. Alrighty, so here we are in the first real cave of the game. The objective here is to liberate Bogarda from his very monstery curse. And we will do that with the help of a weapon that we're going to pick up on the way. Yo, hype train success. Thank you, y'all. Much appreciated. See if we can't get another one going a little later on. That'd be cool. Oh, Spaz, do not worry. There will be baby. There will be baby. So now we have the battle sword, damage upgrade. In fact, let's go ahead and equip it now. Yo, another gift sub. Big Mike again. My goodness. Ooh, I do see a donation has come in. I will read that when the time is good, which is unfortunately not right now, because I'm about to fight that boss that I was talking about. This boss fight is a little complicated, so I will kind of explain how it works when I'm done. But here's Bogarda. He taunts us, and hopefully we kill him rather quickly before he kills us. Perfect. Yo, Omega86656 donated $50 with no comment. Thank you very much for that, Omega. That is a rather generous donation, and that got our little chef guy, like, damn, like 2/3 of the way across that bun now. That's some good stuff. You love it. Alrighty, so here's how that boss works. You take significantly more damage from the axe that he throws as opposed to body contact. So what we do is we walk up, we push him against the wall, we intentionally boost ourselves off of him. This is timed so that when he throws the axe, it'll go through our iframes. We slap him around a couple times, then we boost off of him again. This is timed such that when the axe is on its way back, it goes through our iframes that second time, thus allowing us to kill him at only level 2. It's actually possible to also do it at level 1. If you're doing like a world record attempt, that's what you would do. We would also do the beginning of this game a little differently, but this is a marathon, so we don't want to get too crazy. Yes, it is. There is a Disney Plus kind of revival of Willow forthcoming in episodic form, and that should be very cool. There have been rumors of Warwick Davis reprising his role as Willow Ufgood himself. Another death warp here. Come on, flies. Take a bite out of me. There you go. Alright. So this takes us back to the village of Dew. Also refills all of our magic and HP. Off to here. One thing that's noteworthy about the death warps is every time you die, you need to re-equip all of your stuff. So that's definitely something you don't want to forget that you're doing. Oh, it's not a rumor. He's confirmed it. That's even better. That's awesome. Warwick Davis is a really cool guy. So that's really awesome to hear. And the movie, if you haven't seen it, it is currently on Disney Plus, and it is a fantastic movie. I've watched it with my kids I watched it growing up as a kid, loved it. Was one of the main reasons why I wanted to speedrun this game, was because I had such fond memories of the movie, and there's tons of nostalgia in here. Also, this game is really fun. Like I said, that's what I was saying. I've watched the movies multiple times with my kids. And yeah, it's just really cool. Yo! Uncle Bobby donated $14 and said, glad to donate to such a good cause. Thank you very much for that, Uncle. That is a very generous and well appreciated donation. Would love to see more. Alright, so we just barged in this lady's house. She's like, that's super rude, but hey, I tell you what, while you're here, why don't you search for my little bird pet? His name is Poe. I'm going to give you some medicinal herbs to heal him, just in case he's not right. And so we're like, alright, yeah, sure, if I stumble across Bird Friend, then, sure, I'll, like, heal him, whatever. Oh, yeah, we could have a Mandalorian discussion here. I don't want to get too much into it because, you know, there could be spoilers and whatnot, but, yeah. Mandalorian has been awesome. Yo, what's up, Conger? Thank you so much for the good luck, dude. Yo, PVH, come on, but Kevin Pollak, though. Kevin Pollak was so great. Falls into the Stein. Beer! All right. So let's see if they appear on this screen. And they do! Okay, so for those of you that remember the movie, the trolls that Willow hates, those are those actual enemies. Oh, goodness. Please just throw your fire so I can boost through you. Alright, so here we are in the Matanda Cave. And we'll explain why it has that name in a minute. Well, we got a couple things that we need to do in here. This is a pretty noteworthy dungeon in the game. If you're doing a PB or world record attempt or whatnot, this is an enormous gatekeeper. There is a very, very high potential for you to lose your run. Luckily, our marathon safety is going to mitigate virtually all of that, so not really a problem for us here, but that's okay. So the reason why I did a little pirouette on that screen was to despawn that ghoul enemy. The reason being, I don't have the means to do damage to those enemies yet, and they can be extremely nasty if you don't take care of them quickly. So we despawn them. Okay, what we're about to encounter here is what I affectionately refer to as the Hellway. It's going to be 3 of these narrow corridors here where there is a chance... Yo, okay, we're good so far. There's a chance that on any of those 3 screens, skeletons can appear on either side and pinch you in, and there is very little room to dodge them. Alright, so this is Matanda the dragon. He's a big old sissy. He says, look, if I give you this thieves bracelet, will you just leave me alone? And we're just like, okay, cool, whatever. And that's what happens. Well, now we have to come back out through this same hellway. No enemies there. Yo, let's go. 6 potential screens where enemies would appear, and we saw them on 0 of them. I referred to that normally as the Hellway. When we go 0 for 6 there, we then instead refer to it as the Heavenway. And I hope that's self-explanatory as well. Alright, so we're going to go into this other little arm of Matanda's cave here. Hopefully we're going to get a swag kill here. Yeah, just push him into the corner, and he just keeps bouncing off of that fire and just dies. Beautiful. Alright, so here is Poe. Not really a bird, kind of looks more like a pterodactyl. Whatever. So he's like, hey, thanks so much for hooking me up. I did have a damaged wing, so that medicinal herb is really clutch. So to show my appreciation for your gallantry, I'm going to give you this magical ocarina, and you can use it to summon me whenever you like. This is going to be a magical spell that will essentially like teleport us to different areas in the game, provided we tag them first. So this will be rather useful in the speedrun for saving boatloads of time traveling from one place to another, especially near the end of the game. So we have fulfilled our objectives in here. We have the Thieves' Bracelet, we have the Ocarina, and now we can go back from whence we came. For the most part. One more thing we need to do first, though. We walk in a specific pattern in this room along the edge of the wall there as opposed to diagonally to avoid having 4 skeletons spawn in that room, which is a very bad time. We now have the Flame Sword. This sword's going to put in a lot of work. We're going to use this for a decent portion of the game. Okay, good. He didn't spawn again. That is beautiful. We're just going to walk on out. We'll wait for these bats to come around so we can just circumvent them. We're getting pretty close to the entrance, but we're not going to leave the cave the way that we came in. Instead, pew pew, the Thieves' Bracelet allows for that wall to magically disappear, Instead, we're going to walk out this way. And now it's cutscene time. Yo, thank you, Nailed Snail. I appreciate that. Alrighty, so say hello to Sherlindria. She is the magical gargantuan fairy of the forest, or of Lake Chief, excuse me, who says, here's the deal, Willow. It is your destiny to destroy Bavmorda and bring peace to the land yet again. So to aid you on your quest, here is a crooked stick. Good luck. Actually, that crooked stick that she gives us is the cane. It is a magical spell. It is currently useless, but once we do what we need to do to change that, it is a very, very crucial item in the game. Okay, I need to make sure that I do not die. Okay, that's good. Yeah, I agree. The NES, yeah. We need some free-moving enemies. What shall they be, bats? Well, what about... No, bats. They're bats. Alrighty, so... this is the Devil Eye. This is a sword. It's a very unique sword, and I'll explain its unique properties coming up here. But first, we all have to say hello to our fan favorite. This is Mad Mardigan. We're also going to say goodbye to Mad Mardigan because we do not need the item that he gives us. Why don't we need it? Oh, you'll see. You will see. In fact, you will see rather soon. Let me just turn on this Ocarina magic here. We need to tag this screen here in order to get the warp point that we're looking for. So we do the two. Here comes Poe. We want to go back to his mom's house. Away we go. Alright. Everyone, hold on to your butts because this is about to get all kinds of funky in here. Now look at this screen I'm on here. Normally you can only exit to the top. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Normally you can only exit to the top and to the right. Right? Nope. We can exit to the left. Game did not intend for us to do this. And this is probably a good indication of why. Because things are all kinds of funky right now. So basically what we've done is we've busted into the side of a tower, which is about, like, I don't know, 2/3 or so through the game. We are not supposed to be here, and especially not in this fashion. But you know what? You can't hold me down. So, you saw that I equipped the Devil Eye sword here, and the reason why I've done it is the Devil Eye is a unique sword in that it will only do damage to what I call like ghost-type enemies, and these little bubble ghosts are one of them. The ghoul that I was trying to despawn on that one screen in Matanda Cave is another one. This is the only... This is the only sword that will do damage to them. So this is going to have a use all throughout the game. Even as we get more powerful swords that do damage to quote-unquote normal enemies, we're still going to be using this Devil Eye here and there because no other sword will do. Like, it literally just goes right through the enemies, as if they're ghosts. I don't know, I guess, like... Oh my god, I almost died. That was crazy. I guess the Devil Eye, like, the Eye of the Devil, like, sees these ghost enemies? I don't know. Whatever. Alright. So we come up here. This guy gives us the Earth Crystal. Oh, I'm sorry, the Red Crystal. Eight magic points, 6 hit points. Oof. Oof. Not a problem, though, because we're going to go right back to Poe's house. We're just going to slide on in, holler at Mom real quick. She'll give us the refreshing we need. And you know what? That glitchy stuff we did was so much fun. So I tell you what, y'all. Let's do it again. Only this time, instead of going up the tower, now we're going to go down. As you would imagine, this tower's only meant to go up, and then I suppose down once you've gotten to the top. But we're just going to do this a little half and half deal. Switch back to the flame sword because we're no... Oh, you know, and also switch to fire magic. Because we don't want to deal with these bees. No, we do not. Alrighty. Couple more floors to go here, and then we will get to the bottom. And that's when things get really crazy. Like, really crazy. Oh, that was close. I think we're out? Yeah, we are. Okay. So first we need to come into here. And someone alluded to it earlier, but here is Wee Babby. This is Elora Danon. She is the child of prophecy, the one that will be the key to bringing down Bavmorda. Bavmorda is trying to destroy this child. We cannot allow this to happen. And so we won't. So here's the deal. At a certain point, we're going to need to get to level 13. It's a requirement for the game, and I'll explain why when we get to it. But as you can see right now, we're at level 4. We only have 920 experience. We need over 39,000 experience. You might be thinking that's going to take a while. Oh, big scary enemy. Nope, forget it. We're out of here. You know what? No, let's go ahead and confront it. Oh, wow, big scary skeleton dude. All right, you know what? Let's do this. Let's attack him. He can't hurt me. There's like an invisible wall in between the two of us. So we're just going to sit here and just slap this dude around a bunch. And he can do nothing about it. But we're going to have mercy on him. And the reason being is because he has something that we really want, which is his flag. You can see his boss flag persists in that we have this vertical HUD as opposed to the one that's just in the upper left corner. These vertical HUDs are reserved for boss fights. Well, we're carrying this HUD and his flag with us over into the right tower here. Now, here's the reason why. What happens when you carry a boss flag out of an area where you shouldn't is that that boss flag is going to get assigned to the first enemy on the screen that appears, no matter what screen you're on, as long as you have that boss flag with you. Now, that boss that we were just dealing with is General Kale. He's the second to last boss in the game. Triggering his flag gives us a little over 7,000 experience per pop. So what we're going to do is we're going to kill that first enemy, get the experience, do it again, and again, and again. We're going to do this actually, I've done it already, 3 times? We're going to do it 4 more times. This is actually going to give us enough experience to get to level 14. I go the 1 extra level because it doesn't take too much time, and it does give you a little safety, especially in the end game. So for a marathon, it's usually worth doing. That's 5. We're going to do this 2 more times. Here we go. Number 6. No point in killing any of the other flies because they don't have the boss flags on them. It's always this fly that... Oh, whoops, shoot. Didn't quite get him. That's okay. If you don't get him, you just reset the screen and try again. Boop, 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 boop. There we go. All right. So that, I believe, is 7. So we are done here for now. What we're going to do is we're going to take... we're going to go get some fresh air. And the fresh air is actually rather important. And I will explain why in just a second. So, as you can see, my experience counter is running up at a very quick rate and in very high numbers. The reason why we're standing outside is this. When you enter a tower, a dungeon, or whatever, if you die in that dungeon, you get reverted back to the state that you were at when you first walked in. So any experience that you've earned, items that you've gained, trigger events that you've done, bosses you've beaten and whatnot, if you die before you set foot outside, all of that gets wiped away. So we're going to do a death warp here in just a second. But if we did it before we got all the way up there before going outside, we would lose it all. So now that we've done that, we can just come here, give these flies a big ol' hug, take a death. All right, now, I was at level 4. My maxes were like 60 and 90. Now they're both in the 230s. A huge improvement over where we were at before. So this is super nice, because we're going to be casting a lot of spells for the rest of the game. And so having all of that MP is going to be rather important. Yo, E-Bloody Candy, we did see that you gave us a host there. Thank you so much for that. Alright, so back into the cave we were at before. Scary spiky monster. No thank you. What do we get this time? Skeleton-faced man again. Cool. Only this time, we're going to treat this a little differently. And he's going to come on down. And we're just going to keep slapping him around, and we ain't going to stop until the job is done. Alrighty. We have a tradition in this house where I'm going to do some serious time, and I'm also going to turn up the game audio here. And the reason being is that there is a major hot jam incoming, and we always go silent so that the viewing audience can appreciate it. Thank you for observing that moment of serious time with me so that we could hear Zena's theme. Now, what we would normally need to do to get Zena's cross flute in order to make that play, we skipped all that. That's not important. So, the cutscene that you saw there, the guy that we saw, was actually in that spiky enemy. His name is Moose. Normally, you're supposed to go through the correct way. We're kind of going up the down staircase here. You're supposed to go through this kind of like network of kind of like island caves, talk to Zena, get her cross flute, go in there, and then play it for Moose after you destroy it, and it returns back into its human form. But we kind of skipped all that. So, on our way out of these caves, we're going to stop here to pick up a really, really useful spell. This is the Magic of Fleet. This is essentially an exit spell. When you cast it in a cave, tower, whatnot, it will take you back to the entrance that you entered that area from. So, this will obviously be used to save lots of time not having to do as much backtracking getting out of these places. Oh, Devil Eye takes care of him. The fire magic is actually really important here because we cast it, and just that amount of time that bump takes allows him to not attack us. Now, what those ghouls do, why they're especially problematic, is they will cast a spell which turns our boy Willow here into a pig. Another reference to the movie. The problem with being turned into a pig is that while you're in pig form, you cannot exit the screen you're currently on. And in the meantime, it's going to shoot these, like, you know, damaging bubble shots at you. It's just really annoying. I mean, the waste of time is the more important thing that you want to avoid there. All right, so here we go. This is the Messenger of Earth. This is Fin Raziel. This is essentially the yin to Bavmorda's yang. Because we have the cane, we can transform her back to her human form from the possumy curse that was put on her by Bavmorda. You can only do this if you are at least level 13. Hence why getting to at least level 13 is important. But that's only one reason why. I'll explain the other one as we get closer to the end of the game. Part of what happens when you transform her as well, let me do the equipping that I need to here, is that she now powers up the cane. The cane is now going to shoot these very deadly bubbles that will make pretty quick work of enemies that get in our way. I might use it here and there. Let's see. Sure, you take a couple bubbles and die. Yes, Kaya and the Bobbins, which are Willow's children. He has a son named Rannin and a daughter named Mims. They are actually in the game. In the very first screen where you start, when you just start the game, if you walk into that house there, you see them, and they're all very cute. And they will refill your HP if you talk to them. But we don't actually need to talk to them at all in the game, so we don't. So this is the kind of like a mountainous maze. This can be... I found this when I played this casually growing up. I found this section to be really confusing and frustrating because so many of the screens look exactly the same. So when you're trying to kind of like... when you're trying to get like your bearings and whatnot, it's pretty difficult. Yes, RBW. Semantics. Yo, an anonymous gifter gifting a sub to Wiggly Giblets. I love it. Thank you very much for that. So what we're picking up here is a very important spell. This is the Spectre's Magic. What this will do, and you will see it actually coming up here very soon, is we're going to come to the edge of the screen here. We're going to cast it, and bleep. We are now this little slimy boy. And we're just going to go slithering through the mountainscape. Now, what's significant about being the slime is that you will generate no threat, and therefore enemies will not appear on screen as long as you are a slime. Very, very nice and useful. So... we are going to use this magic heavily through pretty much the rest of the run to get through a whole bunch of areas really safely. Oh boy, this is Dirt Mountain. We're going to see plenty of Dirt Mountain in the future, but he is a beloved enemy in this game, if for nothing more than his silly derpiness. Gonna pop into this little hut here, and this lady is going to teach us thunder magic. There's one particular place where we kind of have to use it, and then another place where we might need to. She also gives us a refill. That's pretty nice. So it's always a good idea to get. Alright, so out we go. These masks are also ghost enemies as well. If I wanted to destroy them, which I will want to coming up later, I will use the Devil Eye to do so. We're going to ignore them for now. Skeletons, get out of my way. See, they don't move too fast, but... oh, Dirt Mountain, no. No! Oh, Dirt Mountain, please! Okay, cool. Alright. The skeletons don't move too fast, but if you don't have a lot of space to maneuver around them, they're problematic. Edge of the screen, inch, bleep. Where's slime again? Now, you see these little kind of like holes or pock marks in the ground. If you are not a slime, these little things will kind of open up and become like these little kind of like mouths of the earth that will not only do damage to you, but they will literally block your path. So if you are not Mr. Slime here, you cannot get through this section. Now, I have a question for you, chat. Obviously, when this slime moves, if it were in real life, it would be making a sound, a little kind of, you know, squishy sound or whatnot as it's moving. What is the word that you would use to describe the sound that this slime makes as it's moving? Oh, shoot, I should have killed him. Done. Borf, splorp, slurp, slurp, plurp, just slime. You know, I ask this question very often when I do marathon runs of this game, and the majority of the time the answer is most like what Polly had said, where it's some form of sploip or splurp or you know, sploop, something like that. Gwish, that's a good one. I like that. Ow, no, ouch. Okay. Bow chicka wow wow. Very nice. Very, very nice. Alrighty. So, one thing that I did earlier, and I'm actually going to want to do it a couple more times if I can, is... One thing that's unique about these ghost-like enemies is that when you kill them, they will leave behind kind of this, like, little, flashing pebble that, when you collect it, will restore 10 of your MP. I want to make sure I collect at least one of those, which I've already done. Ideally, I'd like to collect 3, just to give me a little more safety. Alright, so we talked to, like, the only bird in video games that isn't a jerk. Whoa! Hello! Dzak103 with the 5 gift sub bomb. Alright, forget what I was talking about. Let's talk about those 5 gift subs. Get some retro wins in chat here, please, for all of that generosity. Holy crap, look at our chef friend. He is, like, teetering on the edge of that bun. My goodness. Thank you very, very much. Alright, so here's our first use of the fleet spell. We just needed to go in and talk to that lady. That's just a plot trigger for something else that's going to be coming up here. We use a fleet spell to get out, avoid walking. Oh god, the damage. This is something I need to keep an eye on. Alright, that's cool. Oh, please. Let me get it. Let me get it. Yes. Okay, good. Alright, there's 2. Alright, back to here, and please. That is... Wow, that chef is like... Look at that. He is, like, standing on the corner of that bun. He just wants to get home so badly. I tell you what. Someone come in... Someone hit me with, like, a $5 donation. Just $5. I can almost guarantee... You know, make it 10. Somebody... Give 10 to some kids in need who are looking for a meal, especially during... these holiday times. let's get that dude all the way across the bun, and let's lock in Snow Bros for another bonus game that we've unlocked here during the Vonnie block. I would love to see it. All right, so I've got my 3 pebbles that I need, so I'm set on magic points, which is a beautiful sight. We just need to come right back in here. I'm going to turn my exit magic on again, or fleet spell. Talk to this guy. He's going to give us the witch's shoes. This is going to allow us to cross that bridge that we saw on the screen where I entered that cave where I talked to Bird Friend. Yo, what is up? Chaos donated $10 and sent 10 for the children's. I love it. Thank you so much. And with that, I think that's going to push. Yep, there it is. We have... Oh, shoot. Okay, you know what? That's fine. Come on. Okay, good. Distracted by donations. I will not complain. Yo, Chaos, thank you very much for that $10 donation. It is greatly appreciated. That money is going straight towards the Random Acts organization, which is going to help feed some hungry children in need during these holiday times. And that has also locked in Snow Bros as a bonus game coming up later on in this marathon. But the bonus game unlocking is not done, folks. As you can see, you can unlock baseball stars too. And if y'all tuned in for the 5-year anniversary that we had last week, we had some hot baseball stars action in that one, and that's definitely something you don't want to miss if we are able to get this going. So, you know, we certainly do appreciate everything that you have given us so far, but we want more. I'm just going to be blunt about it. We want to keep raising money because every little bit counts. The more we can raise, the more hungry mouths that we can feed, and that is absolutely a very noble cause during the season of giving that we're all experiencing right now, or would like to be. For some, some are not as fortunate as others. So, but your donations help to make it much more fortunate for them, and that is something that is greatly appreciated not only by them, but by us as well, as we are raising these funds for these great causes. Okay. A little more mountain stuff going on here. I can take 2 bumps off him, that's fine. We're going to sploip right away, and this should be just enough to get us through the rest of this section safely, provided that I move as efficiently as possible. We should be fine. Because I am dangerously low on HP, which is bad in that I could die, but it's good because very soon I will want to die, but I want to be the one in control of the timing there, not anyone else. So, provided we stay slimy. Perfect. Okay, good. Talk to this lady. She's going to tell us about the very ominous Nockmar Castle, which is... ominous, excuse me, which is actually there in the background. That is going to be the place where we will meet up with and confront Bavmorda. All in due time, but first we need the sweet, sweet release of death so that we can teleport back to Tirasleen, where we were before. Yo! Nailed Snail! 2 gift subs to Neon Gray and Vincent V85. Thank you very much for that. You know, like I was saying, your donations move that guy across the bun, but so do your bits and so do your subs. So contributing those is definitely good because that all goes towards the cause. Oops, almost walked out. That all goes towards the cause as well. So if you want to apply those to having games unlocked, that will work. It works all the same. So thank you very much for that. I would certainly encourage others to do the same if they are, if they feel so inclined, and if it is financially responsible for them to do so. Oh my goodness! Holy crap! All right, we're gonna take a second here. Wow, Dzak, 10,000 bits. Oh my god. Well, y'all have seen some baseball stars too. That's happening. So was a quick boss kill there. Let's give them a shout out for giving us the perfect pattern. Wow, 10,000 bits. That is enormous. Thank you so much, Dzak. Baseball Stars 2 is happening. Now we're working on Super Punch-Out. I mean, that's a classic. Everybody wants to see that, right? Let's see if we can make that happen. All right. So here we see General Kale, who introduces himself to us despite the fact that we've seen him twice before. Alrighty. Here it is, the moment, folks. We're talking to Mad Mardigan. Hello, Willow. We meet again. This is our first time talking. We're just going to move down into the corner here and... Here we go. The brownies! Some like them, some don't. But we gotta give them a shout out because they're rescuing us from this prison. They're also giving us an item called the Powder of Unrequited Love. This is going to be a necessary item near the very end of the game to proceed. But for now, we've got our stuff and we can get out. Wow, 10,000 bits. That's awesome. Yo, big cosign on that comment there from Ann. I love all of you guys too. You are fantastic. From my fellow staff members to all of our viewers, fans, donators, everything like that. You all are a really, really awesome group of people, and the time that I spend with y'all is never wasted and always appreciated. So thank you very much for being who you are, and especially for the generosity that we've experienced from many of these fine folks so far, and hopefully we'll continue to experience as this night goes on and into tomorrow. We've got lots of action on Sunday, and you're giving us even more action to bring in as you unlock these games. So it is all fantastic. It is all very fantastic, especially because of the cause for which we're raising funds. So keep it up, y'all. We love to see it. Alrighty, so we're just walking through just a very, very long corridor of a cave. We're gonna use our slime magic coming up. Let me see here. Yeah, we're gonna use it pretty soon here to make the back end of this cave, which actually has some fairly, high damaging enemies to deal with. We're gonna make them not a thing. Sleep. Cool. Alrighty. Should be out of here pretty soon. There we go. Perfect. Nice. Would much rather take body contact from those enemies as opposed to the fire. Body contact deals 30 damage, fire deals 50, so even with all the HP that we have, getting hit by too many of those guys as fireballs can make things, really bad really fast. Alright, so here is going to be the only place where we will deliberately use this thunder magic. Now, the way that these bubble ghosts work is kind of weird. If you leave them on screen long enough, they will do two things. First of all, they will split apart and create a copy of themselves. The other thing that's really weird about doing that is every time they split, they use 10 of your magic points in order to do so. And should be pretty easy to explain why we don't want that to happen. So, this is our last use of the Spectre magic. So, for those of you that are fans of Slimy Boy here, this is going to be your last opportunity to see it. And it's actually significant that we're using this here, and I will show you why in just a second. Big scary guard here in front of the tower. Oh no, a monster! And now he's gone. What a sissy. It's just a little slime, like, come on. You need to be slime in order to get into this tower the first time. So. Necessary. Also, banger alert. We're almost done in this. We're going to kind of double dip this tower. Whoops, no, that's not what I wanted. So you'll get to hear more of this music later. But first we need to talk to Birdfriend's brother. The wing sword that we received from the first one was useless up until now. Now it's the most powerful sword in the entire game. So now that we've talked to him, we're going to go ahead and teleport out. We're going to summon our other bird friend. You can't guard against goo. Nope. You can only run from it. Alright, he's going to take us back to Tirasleen. We're actually coming pretty close to the end of this game, and we're actually making rather good time. We just gotta make a little swing around here. We gotta come in here. Now this lady says, "What? You've met Eric?" We actually haven't met Eric. We actually walked by him in Tirasleen Castle, and didn't really talk to him because we don't really need to. He gives us a fairly strong sword, but it would only be useful in one application, and we don't really care about that. It would be that boss that I quick killed by just slapping into the face a bunch. What I did seemed to work just fine, so no point in tossing in an unnecessary cutscene. Alright, one last death warp we need to do here, and then we'll be ready to make our final ascent up the Nockmaar Castle Tower and hopefully beat this game. I wanted to let the music loop at least once so you could hear and appreciate just how good it is. It is so strong. Oh, one thing that I didn't mention that I would be remiss if I didn't do is I'm actually playing on a modified version of this ROM, and the only modification that's been made is it's removed a lot of the really strident flashing that happens in this game, namely when you die and when you cast the fleet spell. So big shout outs to my friends Jiggly Saint and Dan Jia for working on that. So much love. Alright, so here is Sorsha. She is the daughter of Bavmorda, who actually hates Madmartigan, which, like, what is that all about? But we use the Powder of Unrequited Love. We try to use it on her. Ends up happening to Madmartigan instead. He says a bunch of really, really smooth stuff, wins Sorsha over, and she says, alright, here's the deal. I'm just gonna get out of your way. You need to kill my mom. And so that's what we're gonna do. With any luck. But first, oh boy. We are one-on-one with General Kale, and there is no invisible wall to protect us now. However, there is this battle mechanic where you kind of stay down to the corner of him. Don't let him get too close to you. You just slap him around and he dies anyway. Oh, that's right. Alrighty. Very heroic music here. You know that the end is nigh. So, let's talk a little bit about the final boss fight that we're going to be doing here. It has 2 phases. It's going to be with Bavmorda herself. In the first phase, the only way that you can deal damage to her is with that magical cane. Every time you use the magical cane, it costs, I believe, 12 MP. You need to be at least level 13 in order to have the minimum required maximum MP, if that makes sense, in order to lick enough shots in order to kill her. If you miss even one, you cannot finish the first phase. You have to death warp and then come back. Now, the reason why we've got to level 14 is this gives us 1 shot to spare. So if she does mess with us, we have a little bit of wiggle room there. All right, so here we go. So she's going to talk a bunch of mess to us, and we're like, whatever. We're just going to slide down in this corner, face left, and then just bounce her around with these bubbles. Now, these fireballs that she's leaving behind, they can absorb your cane shots and make this problematic. She got a little loose there, but that's not a big deal. So now we finished her first phase. Now with the second phase, we can hit her with the sword. We're just going to do a little spin here. Just swing at her. Time is going to be on the final hit. And there's time. Sub-hour. Awesome. All right. Good stuff. A sub-hour marathon run is really good because we take a lot of detours and whatnot to get some safety stuff. The world record actually was just improved. No, I'm sorry, it was recaptured, I should say, the other day by a runner named Bratster, who is really into this game, has done a lot for it. And that run is, I think it's a 55 2x, so a good 4 minutes faster than what you saw me do here. So yeah. So good stuff, yeah. So that is Willow, and now we have sent Bavmorda back to the skies, where she belongs, where she can't hurt us anymore. So there we go. That is Willow for the NES. Yo, I see a bunch of GGs in chat. Thank you so much for that. Alrighty. So I tell you what, I'm gonna give the same spiel that I did at the end of the game that I did before. I'm gonna take a minute here to put up a transition screen. We're gonna get the next game going. You're gonna have a couple minutes of downtime. I don't want you to get too bored. So, never fear, because Uncle Vonnie's got your back. What you're gonna want to do, click on that donate link that I just put into chat. $5. Not a whole lot. $5, just, I mean, that's a meal for someone, maybe 2. It really does make a difference. It'll give you something to do during the downtime. I'll be sure to read your name and donation comment once I get back, so we make sure we give you the full appreciation for your generosity. We would be remiss if we didn't do that. So So please think about donating even just a few dollars, or more if you would like, but even just a few. Like I said, they all go a long way towards helping feeding some people, as well as getting Super Punch-Out unlocked. You know you want to do that. So I do see Retro Long Play has donated a bit. That counts too. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, so give me a couple minutes. I'm going to put on some more music for you here. Enjoy that, and then I will be back with some Gargoyles Quest 2. So stick around, maybe make a donation, and I'll be back with you soon.